Hey, hey, how's it going? Um, I'm noticing something weird on my camera, and I can't figure out what it is. But okay, I'm just gonna proceed. So I have some cards, and I've had actually Mark Twain on my mind a lot, and so I was just wondering, like, what would he think of today? And so I was like, I'll just ask and see if anything happens. So I got a little something. And the first thing he said was, I wrote it down. He said, whoa, where'd it go? How did that happen? Well, he said, they're the slavers of today. Or he had to say it a couple of times. Because the first time was really low and very hard to hear. And so, at first it was just like, they're the slavers. And then it became, they're the slavers of today. And then it became, they're the slavers of today. Like, he was, like, emphatic about it. So, okay, yeah, gotcha, I agree. And by they, sorry, I guess I didn't talk about that part. I'm talking about the President of the United States and the people in his cabinet and just all of the MAGA, basically, and people that are for that guy. Excuse me. And so yeah, I mean, I get that point. If you look at what, like, for example, what I've been looking at today, there is a lot of sort of court stuff going on because the president keeps trying to do stuff and then it ends up being unconstitutional and illegal or something. And then also, it seems like they're just doing things just to be wieners, you know, just for the sake of the cruelty, which, that's a shame that that's become like, that's the way to be now. Just be a jerk all the time. So for me, that's like hard. Like, I don't like mean people, and boy, do they like being mean. It's like, I don't know, it comes with a package or something. But okay, so here's an example of I think it's mean. I don't think the person saying it thought it was mean at all. And I wonder if they were being, like, facetious, because it just seems so absurd to me. But evidently there's this young guy, white conservative guy. I think they said he was from, like, Orange County, which is a very sort of right-wing Republican mostly area in California. It has been, well, since before I was born. I'm from California, and it was, and I'm like over 60, so it was around before I got there, the Republican enclave, I guess, or infection, whatever you want to call it. Ow. Sorry, I got a little personal, and then I had to pay for it. So, but they've always had this, they haven't always had this, but it's been building for a long time, because, I don't know, too many cooks in the kitchen or something. But, like, almost under the same banner, you have the right, but they're not all, like, Trump guys, and they're not all, like any group, nobody's all one thing, you know. It's just, you can't really say those people are all blah and have it be true, because that's not how stuff works. The reason why I kind of lit on Mark Twain was because what he mainly did was observe people. He was like a folk anthropologist. I believe he was a reporter, not recorder. Well, I mean, a reporter does record events, so semantics. Anyway, and he was a novelist, and if you read the ones that are probably most famous, Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer, then you know that they take on all of these sort of cultural and political details of the time. And one of the things that has also been on my mind a lot is just kind of the world that we all live in right now, where the lines are being pretty clearly drawn, that like the rich people just want to have control over everything and everybody, including your earnings. So you're just like, you don't even have to work for their company. This is how crazy they've gotten. They're just like, you just have money in your account and you don't need all that. I need it. I need to take it from you. And it's like, if it's your money they're talking about, you're not going to see the logic in that. Like, I just don't think so. I don't have anything that they can take, or, like, I don't even have an account. So there you go. Got him. So, I just wanted sort of to get a feel for what he would think of this time and these people. And what I got is that the time is not so different, because there's always been this sort of pendulum struggle of, power and wealth sort of coming down on not power and wealth. And it's always kind of like the same setting. There's the rich people that have like stuff, and they, this used to be the case. Like recently, not so much, but it used to be that the rich people were the ones you looked up to, or the wealthy, I should say, because there is a vast difference. I mean, having some millions is rich. Having billions, and I guess people are now about to start having personal trillions, we might have to come up with new words for that. But, yeah, but the same players, always the same setting. The rich, poor getting smashed or squashed. People in the middle, like, also struggling, but kind of doing maybe a little better than the people getting squashed. Some of them even nearing on, like, if you're looking at it as a spectrum, nearing, like, the wealth zone. So there's like a middle section, but in that middle section is the people that want to, like, come in and go, this ain't right, this ain't fair, it's screwing up everything else. Like, they're the regulators and the equalizers. Like, they gotta fix the things that are messed up. The regulators, weren't those like some cowboy sheriff's guys? I know it was. I can't remember which one right now, because I can't think good when I do this for some reason. So we have seen many versions of what is happening in the United States. Like, well, I was gonna say, you can just go, you should know a lot of it from just having attended school, but I don't know what's happening at school anymore. They're certainly not teaching people how to read and write. So I don't know what the curriculum is. I know they stuffed a bunch of crap into our heads when I was a kid. And I'm grateful for it, because man, people don't know a lot of stuff today. It's crazy. But the thing about it is I was fortunate, I think, to go to Catholic school, because they I mean, this is about the only reason that I would have anything good to say about this, because I got my ass beat a lot in Catholic school, but they know how to educate a kid. I mean, I did not have to try. I only went from like preschool to third grade, but I did not have to try in school after that. Like, I really, like, it was just a breeze. Anyway, I'm grateful for that. But the thing is like, it gives me a lot of different ways to look at things, to a lot of perspectives. It also allows me to know, to have other perspectives than the one that you just automatically have. And so I guess I'm having a hard time, like, kind of getting up to what I want to, like, make the focus of this, but I'm going to try right now. How are we making it through, like, what's happening right now? Like, how are we, the people, like, going through all of this? And also, like, I listened to a bunch of psychics, or actually I shouldn't say that, like two, really. But it's almost like when I'm watching them, listening to them, a lot of the time it's confirming what I feel like, yep, that feels right. So, things have been happening so fast since Trump has been president. He's been incredibly destructive to, like, the American state, or, you know, the United States state. It's incredible, but it's not just, it's a culmination. Like, this has been the result of a lot of groundwork by a lot of unsavory elements. Let's put it that way. Non-native elements, foreign matter. Like, yeah, we've been infiltrated, basically, is what I'm saying. And so, as far as I'm concerned, like, that accounts for a lot of what's happening. Because along with, like, people and ideologies getting in that are not our ideologies, but that are getting into people that are in our government, that's not good. They should be working along our lines, not working against them for a completely other state. But that seems to be the case with a lot of the people. Like, I'm not waiting around for anybody to tell me any of this stuff. Just because I have paid attention to history, you know, like, a lot of this stuff is familiar, and it didn't, some things definitely have already happened here multiple times, like with the espionage from other countries. I know more stories about Russian stuff than I do about Chinese stuff, but I'm sure that's prolific as well. But only one country has always made a big deal about, like, having beef with America. That's Russia, man. Always had that FOMO or something. Just straight up, I just feel like the leaders were just like, I'm jealous. Like, when this country is not liked as well, everybody doesn't think it's as cool. And I'm not saying that as, like, I think that. I'm saying that, like, how many years that you just knew Russians really wanted rock bands in Russia, and then, like, they didn't want to let them come, and then when they finally let them come, I was like, yay, those people must be so happy. Like, why did I start talking about that? Well, all I know is those are the first people, the first country I think of when I think of, like, problems from overseas in the espionage vein of stuff. But that's not just one thing. I mean, any spy, like, you could almost look at them like a reporter, which a lot of times when they go overseas to places like Russia, they will get picked up as spies. And I'm sure, like, I've seen enough stuff, documentation, historical documentation, to know that they can go, we can send our, like, undercover people, but there might also be journalists or, what do you call the people at the embassy? Ambassadors. But, you know, they could just be doing exactly what their title says they are doing, but they also might be approached by intelligence because they'll be in a be in an opportune place at an opportune time, and they may just be like, hey, we need you to do this, because I'm sure they give them the big America guilt or whatever. But I've seen it in fiction, and I think I've read about it just also in reality. Like, I don't know that, like, if you take it from, like, reading a spy novel, every embassy is just full of spies. I don't know that that's true, but, or to what extent that's true, but I think there are people that are just reporters and just ambassadors. But I can't help now. Every time I think of our government, any government here, before, after, now, whatever is going on, whatever this is, I can't help but think of, I was watching that show from Netflix called Black Doves, and it had Keira Knightley and Ben Whishaw, and the Prime Minister of England. He's a well-known character actor. I believe he's Indian. I don't know his name, but he was the Prime Minister, and he said that before you get into office, you think that leading is going to be one thing, and then you get in there and you find out it's something else completely different. And that clicked on something in my brain. It's like, oh yeah, like, haven't you ever wondered, like, if you're an American, why, like, you're a congressman that you liked so much that said all these great things, and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll give you money and I'll vote for you. Go in there and do that. Like, you're just all, yeah. And then they go in there and they turn into, like, Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema or Lauren Boebert. They turn into one of them too. But yeah, you get there and it's like, oh, this was not what I thought it was. And we don't really know what goes on in leadership in our country, I don't think, at all. Like, I think the truth is closer to the bizarre kind of shit that was happening in that Black Dove show. But again, I am of the belief that whatever we're looking at is some kind of exposure to at least potentials, you know, like, this is something that very well could happen. So, like, thinking of that Prime Minister and then him going in there thinking one thing and his perspective being changed for him. It was like, the control that he thought, like, oh, I'm the guy, I'm the Prime Minister. That seemed to come across as not as much of a thing as you would think. There's too many factors, too many people. And you can't do it by yourself. You have to have help. You have to have other brains. So it just made me think of, like, how do you deal with whatever? Or how do you deal with having a career and a pension and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden have it just suddenly yanked away in the way that you have heard of in other countries or in, like, TV and movies, but you never thought was going to happen in your land, in your house, so to speak. But it is. And so I feel like I just come back to this every time, but how do we get through it? I pulled some cards. So they're from the All my lights are blinding me. The Messages of Cosmic Oracle deck. And so I'm just going to read it and then show you the picture. Life can be hard and life can be wonderful. Which will you focus on? Now you can look at the picture. So, you know, that's a choice. Like, life can be hard, or life can be, and life can be wonderful. So I was reading it with an or, as if you can make a choice, which you can. You can, like, let it be hard and be all fearful and, you know, just think of every bad outcome that you can. And if you do that enough, you can sort of, you know, make that happen, you know. But this says life can be hard and life can be wonderful, which is good advice. I mean, if it's, I guess it's advice, but for the time now, because it is gonna be harder before it gets better in the United States. Like, you don't need a crystal ball to see that. Just that there's so much that's been undone. Like, we don't have people to harvest the fruits and vegetables, so what there is going to be expensive as hell, because the people that should have been doing the harvesting have been uninvited to this country. And bad enough that was the case. Just rip up lives and, you know, say all this stuff when you're not, say all the stuff that's not true about them, and like, it's so much that, and it's upsetting. You know, like, I can't even really watch the stuff I used to like to watch anymore, because the people delivering the information are getting so worked up that they're like getting me worked up, and I'm like, I can just have to turn it off. I can't do it. It's not worth it. Like, I don't want to know that bad. So that's me making a choice of, like, there's some bad over here, but I think I'll just turn that off and, like, go find something good over here instead. I think that's what this card is talking about. Which will you focus on? Yeah, it's a choice. So I don't know about you, but there's, like, plenty bad, and if it's not immediately happening to me, I'm not gonna, like, go out looking for it. But sometimes fear can just be overwhelming, or anxiety, or whatever it is. Like, I'm not immune. I'm aware of it, and I'm constantly doing course corrections and trying to, you know, just reset, you know. Like, every time it tries to go into the negative zone, I'm like, nope, stop. Gotta do it again. That took time to get to, but I have faith in you. I mean, if you don't want to feel terrible, here's the way to help yourself not feel terrible. So here is the next card. I will give you a look at it. It is a heart. We all know, I think, what that indicates. This is not a tarot card. This is an oracle card. So it doesn't necessarily have a message other than what it says, but the reason why I'm stumbling through that is because the heart on here also has, like, colors, so it could be like well, you can see on one side, I hate to say this, but on one side it's a normal heart, and then on this side it's got colors like the LGBTQ, etc. spectrum of people, and that's fine because they're not separate from it. They are also, like, you don't have to be gay to love a gay person. Do you know that? Isn't that crazy? Love is love. We have a problem with that. So anyway, this says, someone is in need of your love. Offer it to them. Get your mind out of the gutter, unless you want it there. I mean, I guess the situation can be fluid, but I think this is more along the lines of offering support. And, you know, you can show someone love by showing them a little attention, like saying, hello, how are you? Oh, your clothes are so nice. Where can I get something like that myself? Just being nice. Get that grubby looking thing out. Oh, I don't even want that at all. There we go. Oh, did I invite you to look at my signs? Don't you dare unscrew. See? Here, take a little look at that for a moment. That's my signs. All right. So, I mean, hey, what's happening? I'm over here. This is a time where, especially for us adults, we adults, I should say, it is disturbing. I mean, we have a lot on our plates already as it is, and then, like, it has only been, like, he only became president in January. It's only been, like, 4 months. He's been incredibly efficient, Trump has, at destabilization and destruction. And, I mean, he's got help, but, man, these people are, like, driven to come in and just destroy stuff. And it's like, they're saying that they're coming in and doing a certain thing, but they're doing none of the things that certain thing requires. They're not getting the people that are expert at it. They're not going to the places to find. They keep the information that they're keeping track of stuff. They could go and look at stuff and go, oh, this is where you could find fraud. Like, it's so easy. They're not looking to find fraud or waste. They are looking to go in and break stuff so it don't work, and they don't want us to keep getting money. Like, they think, I don't know, like that money just came out of the sky or something. Did they forget, like with Social Security or pretty much any of this stuff is paid for with taxes, which I imagine he's unfamiliar with because he probably doesn't pay them. These rich guys are all like, oh, we pay so much. Really? A lot of times it turns out some poor Joe is paying a lot more than these guys are. And it's just the fact that they will come out in front of you and lie to your face is just, you can make a bad time of it or a good time of it. So, okay, next card is this here, and I laughed so hard when I saw this because it's a guitar, right? So I don't know if you know this, but normally a guitar has 6 strings. This has 7, and it just made me laugh because I was like, "Is this card AI? Is it A1?" It's got A1 more string. Yeah, and I'm sure there's guitars out there with 7 strings. There's bass guitars typically come with 4 strings, but you can see ones out there with 6 and more strings, so I imagine this is probably not unusual. This is probably not AI. But anyway, so this says, look around and find some signs. The universe is speaking to you. Do you have that experience where the universe speaks to you? I saw a quote, and it was like a Buddhist quote or something, but it was like, make every experience, this is not verbatim, but it was like, every experience can be a learning experience. Like, everything that happens can be something that you learn from. So that's kind of how, like, I try to, when I can keep my head, look at stuff in life, because I don't know, for me personally, like, if I can't find some way to, like, rationalize it and get a grip, then I am, like, open to, like, getting all scared and anxious and falling apart. I don't want to do that. That's not going to do me any good. It's not going to do anybody that's around me any good, because you don't have to know me, you don't have to interact with me, but if there's like a good energy in an area, I want that there. I want to keep that there. But when it's not good, boy, everybody knows about it. Everybody kind of doesn't want that. I got lost. I lost my track. But so okay, for me, here's an example of the universe speaking to me. When I was meditating yesterday, sitting outside, the butterflies have come out because it's spring, and this is not what usually happens. But butterfly came up and like just flew and hit me in the head, and then it like flew off a little bit and came right back and did it again. And I was like, huh, are you trying to tell me something? So I didn't actually look that up to see if it meant anything. Let me take a look. I don't think they're gonna have butterflies physically bumping you, but it might have something to say about white butterflies. Just real quick. But I mean, this is how like I will look for a sign, because something will become significant in some way, and it won't be necessarily immediately clear like what. So here's what it says about white butterflies: purity and innocence. In many spiritual traditions, the color white signifies a blank canvas, ready to be filled with positive intentions and energy. The white butterfly's appearance in dreams, meditations, or daily life might serve as a reminder to embrace a sense of purity in our thoughts, actions, and relationships, even in our charts, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so that's interesting, because one of the things that I was thinking about yesterday and today, because here's some other signs that keep happening. When I went to the store last Friday, my cards didn't work at Walmart, and I forgot that this has happened before. But the problem is by the time I'm checking out at Walmart, the time that I still have left with the person that brought me there, that the state sent to help me, who has to go after we're done and help someone else for a few hours, my time with them is pretty much almost done. So it didn't occur to me at that time that, oh yeah, this has happened before, I should try a different register. But even if I did remember, I didn't have time. So I was able to get some portion of what was on my list, but I had to leave a whole ton of stuff that I needed. Like, it was my groceries shopping because everything was out. I was not happy. And then I got home and I was like, I kept getting this offer to free trial an app. And I finally was like, fine, but they always need a credit card. But I didn't think I had any money, so I was like, fine, I'll just do it. I'll give you the credit card, and then it won't do it, and you'll leave me alone. So I did it, and my card was all, okay, this much money came off, and I was like, what? So then I realized, oh, Walmart. My cards were okay, which is good. I was happy for that. So I felt like, oh, okay, well, I found some money, so that was good. But like, I get this box, like a charity box delivered, and it's just like fruits and vegetables. And so and this has happened a few times. Like, I knew I wanted to make a certain thing, but I didn't have any more money to go get like a couple of the items that I needed for it. So I ended up like getting them or finding it on my own. And then like someone I was talking about, and they're like, oh, I have a whole jar of that. I never use it. You could have it. So I got like the two things. And that was like some good signs, just synchronicities or something. I don't know, but the box came the next day, and in that box, because sometimes it'll have a can of something or a package of something, like it's an organic box, so they'll send like a package of something or a snack or something like that with the fruit and vegetables. And I opened up the box, and it totally had like the thing that I wanted, and then like another thing that would have gone along good with the first thing that I was having trouble assembling all of the ingredients for. So it's just like, I always feel like, okay, I must be a good girl. Whatever. I must be doing something right when like good things happen like that. So that's kind of what I was thinking about yesterday when I was out there and the butterflies were all bonking me in the head. And specifically what I was thinking about was like, I'm like very self-critical. So I had like, I don't know if this time it was like thoughts, or I had said something to somebody somewhere that I was feeling all remorseful about, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, and just kind of beating myself up about it and feeling like, just, it was not anything bad, like, just sometimes, you'll say something and it'll hit wrong, or you'll accidentally insult someone, or not. A lot of times I'm just all getting myself worked up, and none of that is true. But I do always, and it's got to be from my Catholic upbringing, I swear, I often feel like, okay, I said or did something, and now I'm bad, and now I'm going to regret it. And it's like, it's never that bad. So they really do a number on you, the Catholics. I haven't been in the church in many, 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 many years. So they leave a lasting impression. Ow. But when the butterflies were hitting me, I was like, well, what did I do to deserve this? Wow. Like, I have a thing with insects, like bees and wasps and things. Like, wasps always build their nests on my deck, and I just let them. And there was one that was there. I mean, I've been here since 2004, so I've been here years and years. And there was one on my deck, a wasp nest, for years. It wasn't very big, and they just came and went, and they would like fly around me, and because I didn't freak out, they didn't attack me, like I didn't like swat at them and make them mad. I just let them do whatever they were going to do. And the same with bees. And I like bees because the sound of them, like you can get on YouTube whole hours and hours of bees being bees buzzing and cats purring, all kinds of sounds and soothing stuff, rain, crickets. So I like bees. I don't mind them. I don't mind the bugs. And that's why I was like, I definitely is unusual with the butterflies, but I was not fazed by it. And then come to find out, it was like going, you're fine. You didn't, like, whatever you said or that you're worried about is not that big of a deal. And just to make sure I got it, they bonked me again the second time. So, that was nice. I enjoyed that, and I felt like the universe was speaking to me. You look for the little signs. Here is the next card. Well, that was like, that is not a good picture right there, but in a way, it's like the orange man bombing the planet Earth. It says, speak up and speak out. Let your voice be heard loud and clear. Well, while this is happening, and this guy is like destroying lives, literally, you can't just like lay there. I mean, and just like allow this to happen, because a lot of the stuff that a lot of people like died to make happen, like the Civil Rights Act, they're like dismantling stuff like that bit by bit right in front of us. And there's not I don't feel like enough reaction from the government saying no, stop. Like, I can't believe everyone's just all, okay, Trump, just go ahead and take everything apart and screw up everybody's lives. Because it's not just the people that are like losing social services. This guy with this brilliant, money strategy, whatever, for the country, has made a bunch of bad decisions, cost everybody, our country and every other country that he was, fixing their wagons with some tariffs. He just made a big old mess, pissed off all the other countries, made relations bad for us. No one's going to want to help us. And I'm sorry to use this terminology, but dude, shit down the throat of our allies, basically. So nobody is going to be wanting to come running to help us. Some will, though. I think we still have Canada because they have good hearts. And they have unruly children. So I think there's a measure of patience with them. But we shouldn't push it. And the thing is like the guy will retaliate, but and so will Musk. But the thing is, it's like now is not the time to cower and be quiet. I mean, I'm not out like with a electric bullhorn in the streets or anything, but I'm not gonna not say what I think about this, and I think that we should just say it even at the risk of whatever, because it's that dire right now. Like, the people that were all, the Democrats are always saying democracy's under attack. Yes, because it always has been. People think like it's just gonna like flip like a coin. It didn't. This took a build-up. This took a lot of work, a lot of scaffolding, this hostile takeover that we're experiencing under Trump. And so I feel like it would just be so terrible if I got rendition the way they're doing people. I mean, I might for shooting off my mouth, but at the same time, this is not the time to be cowardly. Like, speak up now or forever hold your peace. Seriously, like, give me liberty or no, or, and this is like that, I feel like. So, not everyone is going to want to do this. It's not going to feel comfortable doing this, and that's fine. Like, if that's how you feel, don't do it, but find some other way to help, please, because it's a big deal. And I don't want to live in the world that Trump and the dictators and the BRICS and all of these, every one of those countries treats people bad, and I do not want them in charge of me. And our knucklehead right now wants to join with that whole coalition, and he's got a bunch of sub knuckleheads that want to do it too, and I would really like to discourage that, because they don't see that it's going to also hit them, the other persons like myself that are just voters. So that's the thing. Again, you don't have to be psychic to see that all of this is going nowhere good, and it's not going to get better. It's already like a mess and falling apart. How can it get better? Like, again, you don't need a crystal ball. So along those lines, here is this card. Huh. That's weird. I don't know what kind of fish it's called, and it doesn't really look like this. There's some weird cloud stuff, and I always see things in the clouds, so I should stop before I go rambling down that path. But this card says, take responsibility for your choices. This is your life to live. Own it. And so, something happened recently that gives me a perfect thing to talk about regarding this card. And it is our friend Elon Musk not happy about the way people are talking about him and Tesla, and he's not happy about the vandalism, and he's not happy about the gunshot that shot the showroom, but no people got hurt. But he's so upset that I guess now there's a death penalty for vandalizing a Tesla vehicle or building or whatever. And I saw an interview with Musk. I don't know who he was being interviewed by. Somebody, one of those right-wing shows, and he just thought it was so mean that people were doing that to Tesla, to the company. Well, Tesla didn't do anything to people. No, but you are Tesla. That's the thing. And so he's like, I thought the Democrats were supposed to be the party of empathy and caring. And it's like, yeah, but not when people like take away your livelihood and call you stupid and subpar intelligence and all kinds of stuff like that. Like, you can't have it both ways, ding-a-ling. So take responsibility for your choices. You're not being honest with people. Like, saying that whatever Doge is doing, like everything that you've been saying, is contrary to what we are seeing happening at the paws of Doge people. So, also, quit trying to flim flam. We ain't stupid. Take responsibility for your choices. This is your life to live. Own it. Don't dish it if you can't take it, basically. So the final card is, how am I doing on time? I'm pretty good. Give your inner critique a vacation day. That's interesting, because I would have said inner critic, but I guess critique works. Be kind to yourself. I had to add to this because I'm getting sick and tired of kind being misinterpreted. Here, let me try this again. Be kind. What kind? What kind are we talking about? So I had to add to this. Be kind of nice to yourself. Be kind of nice to yourself. That's what kind. Be nice, the nice kind to yourself. And give your inner critique a vacation day. So I gave a whole speech about tearing myself up about what I said or thought, that evidently is not as big a deal, because good things keep happening to me anyway. And I'm always surprised. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I was feeling bad about some comment I made on Blue Sky. Like, I had really been beating myself up about it. And then I go to the store and some guy buys all of my groceries, just turns around and goes, I'll get that for you. And I was like, oh my God. So that was like a big one. But lots of little things, like, it'll take too long and it's none of your business anyway. But we all have that, like finding money, or finding the ingredient, or fill in the blank situation. So yeah, especially when like the world is being so hard on us, when the world is not having empathy for us, and sending us to foreign countries and absurd, crazy things like that. You don't need to be like beating yourself up. There's enough in life to do all of that. So, if you've seen like tarot readings, you know that sometimes the reader will have a card from the top of the deck, and then they'll also like add to the reading by seeing what the bottom of the deck said. And I just thought it was funny. Like, I don't have a deck here. I just have however many 5 cards that I have that I pulled out. I just thought it was interesting that life can be hard and life can be wonderful. Which will you focus on is on the top. And then on the bottom of the stack is give your inner critique a vacation day, be kind of nice to yourself. They're both about sort of self-care, and then, like, all of the cards in the middle were kind of like feel like sort of like, I don't know, emotional places that you would find yourself at throughout an average day, a typical day. Um, I don't know. I just thought it was very neat and tidy. Like, starts off like, come on, you can be good to yourself and make your life feel better. And then the last one is like, still, be being good to yourself. Uh, because really, you are the one. Where's the box for this? I'm all confused. Well, anyway, yeah, you are the one that can, like, not navigate, but you can direct your self, your feelings, your emotions. Like, you're in control, you know? You don't, listen, nobody's doing anything to make you feel any kind of way. If you're feeling ways, that's you reacting, responding to whatever. It's, you don't have to have a feeling about something. You could just, like, let it pass. You know, so there is a certain level of taking the responsibility in those situations too. I'm just babbling away here, so I'm just gonna go. Thank you and good night.